We're there. There we are. Hello, Wanderers.
Welcome to the Airstream from Minneapolis, Minnesota. We are super excited to hang out with you guys tonight because it has been way too long since we have done one of these.
It's been weeks, I think.
I think it has. Well,
Yeah.
What have we been up to in the last couple weeks, Dave?
Well, so over the last few weeks, we have spent some time in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and I will be the first to admit that I wasn't exactly excited about going to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan because some people told me there's not really a lot up there.
Who told you that?
When in fact, there's so much awesomeness in the Upper Peninsula. It was mind-blowing, and we can't wait to share some of that footage with you over the next few weeks.
Welcome, Dale and Paul. It's so good to see you guys tonight. Well, as always, with our lives, these events are all about you. So if you have a question, make sure that you go ahead and leave it in the comments because we want to answer those as a priority. And until you guys give us questions, well, me and Daniel love to ramble.
There's no shortage of talking on our end, that's for sure.
Rachel, hello. Let's see. Yay for making it to my home state. Daniel, how are you going to do us like that? Real.
Listen, I mean, Lauren has always wanted to go to the Upper Peninsula. When we started this journey, that was one of the places that she had on her sort of bucket list. And I'm like, Upper Peninsula, I don't really think there's a lot up there. But, I mean, it was
beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah.
Welcome, Bill, Karen. Thanks for joining us. Dan, yes, it has been chilly. We have been in shock and awe about the weather and how back and forth it has been over the last couple of weeks. So we had the pleasure of getting to kind of do a little northern tour of Michigan. So before we headed up to the Upper Peninsula, we hit Traverse City, which was super fun.
Another unexpected city.
We're pretty much obsessed with all things cherry now. Apparently that's a whole Michigan thing, but Traverse City had a lot of them and they were delicious.
So true.
And then we got to go to Mackinac Island, which we have heard so much about.
You guys are going.
Welcome. Hey,
you guys
Michael.
are going to love the Mackinac.
Well, and speaking of the Upper Peninsula, Snow Dogs Vlogs is on here to hang out with us, but they gave us a full tour of the Upper Peninsula. If y'all follow us on Instagram, you got to see it. They're obnoxiously cute puppies, Memphis and Kira, and we had so much fun. It was really awesome to get the full Michigan experience from locals.
They have the cutest puppies ever, and we were so thankful to spend so much time with them over that time in the Upper Peninsula, exploring some really cool locally known waterfalls. I would say not probably everybody knows about all the waterfalls we visited, so that'll be a really, really cool video coming up.
Yeah, it was super fun.
There's a video where we may or may not have just taken a horse and buggy and just kind of gone around the island. That was pretty fun as well.
Somebody gave us a horse and buggy, just me and Daniel with no experience, obviously.
They're crazy.
It was crazy.
They're crazy.
Okay, Paul says your Nashville ammonia event was interesting.
Paul, yeah, I saw your comment. I haven't responded yet, but I saw your comment about certain gases and how they can be deadly. And we, of course, I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with this. I know there was a family in Yellowstone that died because of some natural gases, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, just something to be aware of that wow, I mean,
it was eye-opening. Hold on, let's preface. So obviously, Paul, you have seen our video from this evening. Thank you for watching it, as always. You are awesome. But we had a really crazy experience just outside of Nashville at one of our absolutely favorite campgrounds. So anytime we're in and around the Nashville area, we love to stay at the Grand Ole RV Resort. It's a adorable RV resort. The spots are beautiful. The grounds are perfect. They make homemade meals. There's live music every night. We love this place, okay? And while we were there, we literally, the night we were supposed to leave, we were woken up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was by police with sirens and loudspeakers announcing that we had to evacuate immediately because there had been an ammonia leak.
It was, it
was wild. Well, we don't want to ruin it because you should totally watch the video, but we learned a lot about ammonia, about how all sorts of crazy gases are used that you're not really aware of. In facilities all over the place. It was
much
crazy.
As we recorded, there was a lot that we couldn't record because we were just in pure panic mode, to be 100% honest with you. When you're awoken at 3 o'clock in the morning and you hear sirens and they're saying, get out immediately and evacuate, and you're just in a dead sleep and you're awoken to that, it was
it was crazy.
Yeah, that was just some raw footage there for sure.
But we learned a lot.
And we also said that, when we started this journey, we were going to share absolutely everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, the pneumonia.
And the crazy.
Yeah, all of the craziness.
Alex and Kim, thanks for joining us, y'all. And Dale, welcome. We love Michigan too. We're so with you. Becky, thanks for joining us. And thank you for joining us for the video premiere this afternoon too. Rachel agreed. Traverse City is amazing. So yes, we did the horse and drawn carriage, but we only had one day there. And now that we've been to Mackinac Island, if y'all have been there, y'all probably already know this. That place is so cool. So Mackinac Island, for those of you who don't know, it's in the northern part of Michigan. It literally is this tiny little island that is right in between like the Mitten and the Upper Peninsula part.
But you can only get to by ferry. And
there are no vehicles on this island outside of emergency vehicles and some construction. And there is some construction right now, but it's really besides the point. So in order to get around on this little island, it's either by horse or by bike. And they don't even let electric bikes there.
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much.
But it's such a cool place, and we would love to go and spend more time there because it's amazing.
Yeah, our biking adventure was also fun, but we don't want to. That's
Daniel and I try to tandem bike.
Okay, we'll just leave it there. Yeah, no, it's tandem bikes. Woo!
Oh my gosh. Okay, Amanda, welcome, and Alex, thanks for coming to hang out with us this evening. Chanda, oh my gosh, yes,
we had dinner.
On fall camping.
Yes, we had some dinner. Thank you so much.
Yeah, y'all are going to be shocked, but because we're doing this about 30 minutes later than we normally do, I actually made dinner. So we are fed, which is probably why we're a little more energetic, if that's even possible.
That's so true.
We're pretty pumped to be
well-nourished
and come hang out with you guys. Patricia, thanks for coming to hang out. Okay, Andrew, have a 30-foot Airstream here in Amarillo. Why aren't you here?
Texas. We will eventually make our way back to Texas, but
let's be real. Right now, it's not fall yet in Texas.
No. Yeah, no, we need to wait until it's snowing in Texas to feel comfortable there at this point. So I'm just joking. No, we'll definitely be back to Texas, and we're headed on a southern trajectory now.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
Kind of. We're
like doing a big U kind of.
Yeah, we mentioned this. We're in Minnesota currently. We are sort of wiggling our way back down south because obviously
not really. Okay, so here's what we're really doing. We were supposed to be going to run the New York City Marathon.
No,
the Chicago Marathon. And what we found out a couple of weeks ago is that Daniel, who is responsible for making sure that we sign up for all of the racings, it's kind of his gig. He thought he signed me up.
I mean, I thought I did. I literally thought I signed up for the Chicago Marathon.
Because I've been training for it.
Yeah, and it was for the charity thing, and we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But I may have forgotten somebody. So rather than run it solo this year, I opted to move the run to next year when we can both run the Chicago Marathon, which allows us more time to focus on New York City Marathon. So that's okay.
But
we'll just do even better.
New York City Marathon is on November 7th. So that's where we're headed right now. So we're making kind of a U shape up to New York. And then once we get to New York, then we will be making a beeline down south because it's going to get cold, and it's going to get cold fast.
Listen,
we've seen some temperatures, even in the Upper Peninsula, like
20s, 30s.
Mid-30s. It hasn't gone below freezing yet, but it's definitely starting to get chilly. And y'all know us. We are like gluttons for punishment. So if it's going to snow on anybody when it's not supposed to, it's going to be us.
That is 100% true.
Oh, wait. Steve has a good question. Where does the mullet fit in? Good, bad, or ugly?
It fits in under amazing. I mean, I would think that. I mean, Paul, you would agree. I think this is just pure awesomeness here. I'm getting it trimmed, getting the mane trimmed next week. So it'll be in, tidy up the mane. So definitely going to be running the New York Marathon with this beauty here.
And
maybe
probably
even
that thing.
I will probably shave the beard and just keep a stash. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes.
Chris, welcome. Thanks for hanging out with us from Arizona. Rachel, come see us in the winter and we'll snowmobile all over Mackinac.
Heard about that. You don't need the ferry. You can just like snowmobile over to the island.
Yeah, we were at the ferry. The gentleman who we were talking to, like getting us on the boat and stuff, he was like, you know, in a couple months, he's like, this lake will be completely frozen over and there will be like 3 ice or hockey rinks out there. He's like, y'all should stay. It's going to be fun. And we were like, yeah, we're going to have to take the Airstream down south, but some winter adventures probably should be in our future.
100%. Chris Reed, no e-bikes except for those that have health reasons. Okay, that's very, very good to know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And Aaron, great question. Has the limited size of your Airstream caused any stress? I asked because you have to be super organized to make it work. And that is 1,000% true. We thought we were organized. And then, of course, we met Cece from Lily's. And she just like changed our world when it came to organization. So with Lily's organizational tips, I think we could probably make use of practically any size Airstream. That being said, we didn't have a lot of stuff when we moved into the Airstream. We kind of like expanded to the space versus like kind of reducing what we had to the space. So if you're somebody who not hoards, but just has a lot of stuff, you'll definitely want to do some purging before you move into an Airstream. Yeah. There's plenty of storage. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's like plenty of storage, and we still have some we probably don't even use. Like, right, empty space. But you'll definitely, it's not going to be like one of those like fifth wheels with like double slide outs and you know, a full size home. You know, it's definitely comes with its own challenges.
If you haven't done any kind of tiny living, it probably would cause some stress, at least initially. Like we have friends who have gone from like regular sized homes and moved into RVs and have decided after, you know, 6 months of giving it a shot that like they miss their home and they miss more space. Yeah. So like I would never say that RV living is for everyone. I mean, obviously we've been seeing a lot in the news lately that is really super heartbreaking as far as
relationship couples and
so can it cause stress? Can being in tight living quarters cause a lot of stress? Absolutely. Daniel and I talk about all the time that we think that small space living really amplifies the relationship that you're in, whether that be for the good or the bad. Right.
I mean, if you don't have a good relationship and you move into a small space, it's not going to get better, I promise you. We had a great relationship going into it, and it just kind of sort of amplified that. We've actually grown closer. But that's not the case for everybody. You know, it definitely comes with its challenges, and it's all about how you tackle those challenges as a couple, I think, most importantly.
So true. Okay, so Paul, are we going to Quartzsite? So it is on our agenda. For right now, the only thing we have planned for our winter camping is January. And January is basically Florida because we have some cool things to do in Florida in January.
The only thing we can say publicly right now is that we're definitely going to the Tampa RV show for sure.
We're very excited about that.
So,
well, we got that. No, we have a couple of things. So we've got that, and then we've got a really fun RV content creators event that we're going to be going to get to meet some other people who are doing some fun stuff like what we are, and so we're excited about that because we're going to learn from a bunch of people.
Less Junk, More Journey down in Florida, so that should be pretty fun.
It should be a blast. So we're doing that, and then we're hoping to get a couple of other things on our agenda, maybe a couple of collaborations with some new fun friends, kind of like what we just did with our Snow Dogs vlogs with Miss Jessica and Jamie. So we absolutely freaking love hanging out with other people. If you guys have met us in person, y'all know we are super people. So Florida has a lot of friends and family and fun stuff for us down there. So we're excited about doing that in January. But then after that, we don't have plans.
We don't. So
our only plan is we want to go to Quartzsite.
We're going to have to stay south. We know that. We've got a couple of potential projects in the works we can't talk about yet. So we've got like teasers. You know, we're trying to hit all 50 states.
Yeah, truth.
Some come with more challenges. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, Rachel says, where are we going to put the Airstream near New York City? That is a good question.
I'm glad you put near, not in, because that's never going to happen.
No, we're actually going to be just outside of the city in New Jersey. It's probably about an hour out. I honestly don't know exactly where it is, but we are not getting the Airstream absolutely nowhere near New York City because that would be
no. I was born in New York City. My family is from New York. I have zero interest in ever driving the Airstream through the city. That has to be probably one of the most stressful things ever. I can't even imagine having to deal with like, you've got lane changes and potentially low bridges. That would just be,
all of the horrible
things. Not a party I want to go to.
No, that's
real. At all. No.
Well, I mean, we were just recently in New York City for work for just a couple of days.
Yeah.
And Daniel and I, like, my team went to get me a car or whatnot.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you want your usual SUV? And I'm like, oh no.
Small car. Yeah.
The smallest car that you can give us is perfect because New York City is bad enough having a car. Really should try to take the train. But
it's good though. I mean, like it gets to like.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, you get to work on your parallel parking skills,
which I have none of.
Merging and driving it like you stole it, kind of thing.
Dana drives it.
Yeah, I drive. I just merge, and you know how it is. People either move or they don't. So.
Okay. So Dan has a good question. Have you guys have been doing this RV thing for a while? Any regrets?
Any regrets?
Well, first, we've been doing this a little over a year now.
Yeah.
Maybe 13 months.
Gosh. I would say that if I were to go back, I would probably have started slower. I think we just kind of like, we dove in and we figured we were going to tackle, I don't know if how long you guys have been following, but we were trying to tackle all 50 in a year. Texas eliminated that instantly, and a few other mishaps that happened along the way. Losing the awning is, for instance, that's not a quick fix.
Yeah, that's true.
Probably to just taper our expectations and go a little bit slower and more carefully.
Well, I mean, we thought we were going to hit all 50 states in a year. We're at 22.
23.
23. Oh, yeah, 23, because today we got here. That's pretty exciting. I would say any regrets on my end. Honestly, really, we love RV life. And I think it's a little unfair to compare it to if somebody was coming from a sticks and bricks, because we were already traveling for a year and a half before we started this, just internationally with Airbnbs and hotels. And because of that, we really I don't even think I realized it, but we really missed having a home base. And having the RV and doing RV life is more like having a home base, but still getting to travel full time.
Yeah.
So I absolutely love that part of it. So that would be my thought process.
That's a really good question, Dan. Thanks for that. Yeah. So if you guys, Laura, you said so we'll be coming through Indiana on your road trip to New York. Tenderloin sandwiches and basketball. Yes, Indiana.
Okay.
Hoosiers, Pacers, absolutely big fans.
Michael asked, where will we be around October 15th? I have no idea. I would have to look at our calendar.
Yeah. We the calendar is, we live and die by that calendar. You kind of have to when you're traveling like this.
Truth. Ed and Dora, hi, how are y'all doing? Let's see. Oh, Robert asks a good question. Pottery Barn Airstream in your future?
No, not unless somebody gave it to us. Just because we're super happy with the Classic.
Well, not even really of any. So I think I mentioned this in one of our lives recently, or maybe on an Instagram post.
It's one major reason,
There's one major thing. So Pottery Barn Airstream is absolutely
awesome.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The finishing touches on it are gorgeous. It's
Agreed.
very similar to the Classic as far as like some of the
amenities
and features.
Cool stuff.
But the thing that it doesn't have is the wraparound heating system.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be living in this thing full time, that wraparound heating system is basically a godsend, because A, you can use it when you're not plugged in. And B, when you use the heater associated with your air conditioners, is so loud. Versus with the wraparound heating system, it's propane. It's propane fueled.
Mm-hmm.
And it does require a little bit of electricity. If you've seen our Texas video, you know that we learned that. But that thing is maybe my favorite feature of the Classic.
I love it.
Amazing.
I think it'll probably become one of those that's collectible, kind of like the Tommy Bahama, I think. It depends on how many units they produce, but, well, shoot. I mean, really, everything's collectible at this point because there's a limited number of Airstreams, period. So,
truth.
Yeah. That's a great question.
Gloria, thank you for joining us. Miss Allie, hi, love. We miss you. Okay, Dan, you say, let's see, I loved how you just dove in and figured it out. I mean,
Amen.
That's pretty much what you got to do with life. So,
I mean, you could spend our walkthrough alone. The guy went through, 100 different things, and it was just kind of like overload. And anybody has ever picked up a new RV, period, it's a lot. So you kind of have to, unless you want to spend like 3 months just reading through all the manuals, and we're not really manual people. We like to figure it out as we go. We'll definitely source YouTube for some stuff if we're unsure of things, but yeah.
Truth. Yeah. Okay, retired Colonel, any major issues with the Airstream? We are thinking of buying a Classic.
Oh,
so
that's a good question.
Here's what I would say to that. Have we had any major issues? No.
Little things,
but there are little things. And I think that especially with all manufacturing right now, I think that we got really lucky that we purchased ours right before things got super crazy with manufacturing sourcing.
True.
Ours is a 2020 model. It came off the floor.
2021 model.
2021 model, but it came off the floor in December of 2020.
Sure.
So they were already Airstream was already having issues with production for sure at that point in time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as bad as sourcing materials are today.
And I mean, that's not just the RV industry. I mean, you guys know
I need a new Apple computer and they can't freaking get chips.
I know. I mean, the chip
that's
shortage
is like a overall problem.
Yeah. I mean, the chip shortage has impacted almost every industry, you know? So, I mean, there's a lot of different shortages. Supply chains are just all screwed up right now. So, it's not just Airstream. It's probably every RV manufacturer.
Oh, I'm sure.
If, let's just say, for instance, they're using Tuft & Needle for mattresses, right? Well, then Tuft & Needle has no more inventory. So then they have to try to like source another mattress to use for the units. And while they do, a lot of these units sit in parking lots waiting for some of the parts to complete the build. So it's not, I mean, it's literally every manufacturer right now. So
yeah.
So,
but from a standpoint of things that have gone wrong with the Airstream, we had soft starts installed on our AC units. And after they were installed, we found out that either the
it just wasn't tightened.
Something weren't tightened enough, or maybe they weren't ever tightened. Maybe it jiggled around and just fell off. Who the heck knows? But we had some weird noises being made by our AC system from that, and so we took it to the Airstream dealership. Sure enough, they just screwed the things on, and it was totally fine.
I will say that 80% of every little thing that we've had go wrong was nothing that Airstream built. It's like the Dometic stuff, right? So like
that's who does our AC unit.
The AC unit, they do the stove. The thermocouple went bad on the stove, so that was a Dometic component as well that we had to wait on.
Yeah, that's annoying.
So they were mostly just like the parts the manufacturers that are using to complete the builds, you know, for like
and some silly things like sealants too. So like we had a window that leaked a little bit. You put a little bit of sealant on it and it's not a big deal. So
I mean, but we're also, I mean, you have to consider the fact that we're full timing and we're beating the crap out of this thing, and we're 30,000. I think we just crossed a 30,000 mile mark. That's a lot of miles. I mean, we've stayed at 70 plus campgrounds, covered 30,000 miles in 23 states.
True.
So, I mean, the fact that it's held up like it has, I mean, it's
kind of amazing.
It really is.
We have friends who had bought other RVs that were not an Airstream, and after one camping season, it was like a tornado had run through it. So from that standpoint, we've been really, really happy with the quality of our Airstream.
Yes. Any plans? Oh, this is a good one. Becky, any plans for a Furry Family Edition? I don't know. Who knows what the future will hold?
We definitely have had some really amazing experiences lately. We got to spend a little bit more time in Nashville than we expected. And so if you follow us on Instagram, and it's just at Wanderlocal2, we'd love for you to join us there as well. But you probably got to meet our dog, Bella, who is a Maltipoo, but when we started traveling full time, she hated it. She was already 9 at the time. And so she ended up deciding to go retire with my mother, and she loves retired life. Like, she is living it up there. So we actually even tried bringing her in the Airstream, and she kind of super hates that too. I think she just wants to go back home to her recliner chair and like chill out with my mom and get all of her treats and go on like 6 walks a day and the whole night. So because we've got Bella, it's like, I don't know, our hearts feel a little bit torn about adding a family puppy furry edition, but we love them so
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You just never know. You never know with us. I mean, we've been known to make decisions pretty quickly. Yeah. Retired Colonel, the F-250 is perfect for towing. You're going to start full-timing next June. Congratulations. That sounds awesome.
No. He said, is it perfect for towing?
Is it perfect for towing? Oh, yeah. No, definitely. I mean, it's funny because I never really think about the truck because it just works. I have had 0 issues with the truck at all.
Well, minus that tire that really will not stop giving us a deal. But that's not really about the truck.
No. It's a tire. Yeah, no.
We have our driver's side back tire right now. So if you saw our video where we went to the Airstream rally, Airstream International Rally in Lebanon, we have been fighting with this tire now for like a month. And the goofy thing is that we took it in to get looked at, and they said it was totally fine too. So maybe
it was for a while. Maybe
we're like not screwing the tire bolt on. I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't really know.
It's really weird, but we'll figure it out. It's not a big deal. We have our own air compressor, which is great. So
that is one of our most necessary accessories. We're going to create a video soon on I would say probably the top 10 things that you just literally can't live without if you're especially if you're full-time RVing.
Yeah, truth.
That air compressor will definitely be on the list because you have to consider like this is dual axle with the Airstream. So you've got 4 tires here and you've got 4 in the truck. So you've got 8 tires to keep an eye on.
Yeah, truth. All the tires.
All the tire stuff. Yeah.
Ed and Dora, the content creators event. If you'll message me on Instagram, I'll send you the link to it. I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but we are really excited about going. It's gonna be fun.
Yep. And we're back here. Okay. And then let's see here. Jill, hello. Hello, Jill. Chiming in from the Airstream. Let's see.
Thanks for joining us, Terry.
Gloria Lynn, hello from South Texas. Thank you so much for the compliment. Let's see here. And hello from Iran. Nice. That is awesome. Chiming in from Iran.
Oh my gosh.
That's
okay,
fantastic.
guys. We are really
we're way behind here.
Okay,
we're doing some catch up. So if we skip.
Here's a good question. Okay, Norma asks, how far in advance do you make reservations for RV parks, and do you do any boondocking? So we love to boondock, and honestly, that's probably one of our favorite ways to camp.
Mm-hmm.
But unless we're out west, there's not a whole lot of it up here. So from that standpoint, we haven't done a lot lately, but we really enjoyed it when we were doing so when we were out west. Oh, well, wait a second.
Oh, and what?
We got a special. What do you call these stupid things?
Super chats.
Super chats. Alex from the Lodge. Thank you for our super chat. And we will absolutely buy a gallon of gas on you. But you know what? Honestly, $5 is more like a gallon of gas plus a little bit because we're no longer in California.
It depends on the state. It depends on the state. Yeah. So certain states, $5 gets you a lot more gas.
Okay, but back to how long or how far in advance that we book our campgrounds. Let's see if we can get this on.
We'll just talk about it. Yeah.
Here. So from a standpoint of that, when we first started RVing, I literally would book them out maybe a week or 2 in advance. But now what I do, one of the good things about campgrounds is most of their cancellation policies, if you look while you're booking them, they're pretty lenient. And that's wonderful because a lot of the times we have to be really flexible, but I do book them out in advance. So right now I'm actually booked out through when we get to New York or New Jersey, technically, for the New York City Marathon. So that's a little over a month of booking out. But that being said, like this past week, we were in the Upper Peninsula and we decided that we wanted to go ahead and make it a little bit further to where we were going to be going. So we changed around some of our reservations, found a new campground. It was literally the day of that we found it, and it was a KOA. It worked out great. Sometimes when you're looking at day of campgrounds, it is more difficult, especially if you're in or wanting to be close to a very specific place. And if that's a city type place, that's even harder. Or near a national forest or not really a national forest, a national campground.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, a national park. If you're close to a national park, those are harder to book. But then a lot of campgrounds, like the one we're at right now, we weren't even supposed to get here until Tuesday, and we were able to push it back till Sunday, and so we're here now. So I would say booking online is probably one of the things that I avoid. I just pick up the phone and call people these days because sometimes their systems aren't up to date. Sometimes, you need to talk to somebody and ask if you can move spots in the middle. There are all sorts of hacks to being able to do it so you don't have to book out a full month and a half in advance.
I'm going to drop a super helpful tip here. Life is too short to spend at crappy campgrounds. So when we were headed out west initially, there were a couple campgrounds we got to and we were like, I'm not really feeling the vibe here. And we had booked for a week. We talked to them. We said, we're going to leave a little bit early. And they actually credited us back the nights. So that's cool. So, literally, if you get to campground, you're like, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
Leave. Yeah. Don't stay there. It's about enjoying the outdoors and the experience. It's all about the experience. So that's just another pro tip there.
Rustic Alaskans, thanks for coming to hang out with you. And Uncle Randy, it's so good to see you. Hey, Liz, how are you? And Fox Island, Washington. Pappy's Tesla. Thanks for joining us, y'all. So good to see y'all. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is a good one.
That is a very good question here. So don't want to relive the snutty video. The Hop Chip Challenge, which I absolutely crushed. Poor Lauren. I mean, bless her heart. She was really struggling with that one. No, not really. No, it was pretty bad. I suffered. I was on the struggle bus from the very get-go. Probably 10 seconds into eating that hot chip. I'm not sure if you've seen that video. It's called the Packy One Chip Challenge.
I think I actually titled it Funniest One Chip Challenge.
It was rough. So we mentioned a little bit about the charity, and this seems like the perfect time to talk about it. We have partnered with the American Cancer Society this year. We partnered with them last year to raise funds for the American Cancer Society and research and everything that they do. That's wonderful. Last year was meant to be my 20th year cancer-free.
Well, it definitely was your 20th
year. It was my 20th year cancer-free. No, I don't want to take anything away from that. 20 years cancer-free last year, and to do that, I was going to run 4 marathons with charities. Unfortunately, everything was canceled last year.
But you ran them virtually because you're a crazy person.
I ran them virtually because, yes, crazy. Yeah, definitely check those videos out, including eating donuts while running a marathon. This year, we have partnered with them for the New York City Marathon. We're both going to be running the marathon. We are going to be raising some funds.
Yep. Our goal is to raise $10,000, and our goal is to do that by the race, which is November 7th.
Right. So we've never asked for anything ever. And I've told a few of you that I met in person that I was going to start asking for some money, and they're like, really? I'm like, but it's not for us. Like, literally, we don't want any of it. We literally just want you to give it to charity. And we're going to provide a link, and we're going to do some fun stuff along the way. So we're really excited about it. This New York City marathon video is probably going to be the most epic video. No, it is guaranteed. We have shot over 100 videos over the course of the last year or so. It is guaranteed to be the most exciting video that we have ever shot.
We may or may not have a pretty big surprise to incorporate into it, but because we're doing this, what we're doing for everybody who helps us reach our 10,000 goal is first for anybody who does any kind of donation. It does not matter what the amount of that is that we're going to be doing, we're going to feature your name in our video for the New York City Marathon. And then second, for anybody who makes a donation every single week, we're going to be selecting 3 lucky winners to win free Wanderlocal gear.
And free product. Yeah. So we potentially have some other product from some vendors. So you definitely want to tune in for that.
Yep, absolutely. And then for our top 26 donors, and for those of you who don't know, a marathon is 26.2 miles.
Yeah.
Yes. Daniel and I are both going to run 26.2 miles, and no one is chasing us. For our top intentionally, which is kind of stupid, but kind of awesome too. For our top 26 donors, we are going to be doing special shout outs in the video at each milestone marker for those individuals. So we even are going to give you guys the ability to customize those shout outs. So
you control the message. This is all about the community here.
What you want us to say, if you want us to help us feature your small business, if you want us to highlight a loved one, then you can do that through those donations.
That's exactly right. So, and honestly, every single dollar that's donated, even if it's just $1, let us know their name, because it's very important. If you have somebody that you would like us to run in memory of or in honor of, I want you to send us their names, because we're going to celebrate them throughout the video as well. It's very, very important to us.
Truth. So,
the idea is that we're hoping to inspire and raise funds for cancer and
make a difference and save some lives.
That's right. Yep. I'm a cancer survivor, and I'm running a marathon, and a lot is possible.
Truth. Okay, but on a comical note, Brandon is de-embarrassing with his jeans tonight.
Yeah, well, they're not cutoff jeans, so look at that.
Oh, he has real long pants on.
Real pants. There you go. Whole thing. You're getting the whole view here.
I mean, Brandon,
if you're just tuning in right now.
You really did ask for that. Y'all, I apologize in advance. So he wasn't embarrassing me with his jeans, but apparently he's going to embarrass me in general. So that was awesome. Thank you for that, Daniel.
That's it. I haven't cut them yet. You just never know, though.
I mean,
I've been known to take a scissors to some jeans.
Does anybody else on here wear jorts on a regular basis? Like, why is that even still it should have never been a style to start with. The fact that you love those so much is so
jorts are comfortable.
Silly.
They're like stretchy material.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dan has a good question.
Are the solar panels you have? We do have some sufficient for boondocking. So we have 3 90-watt solar panels, which gives us 270 watts of power.
Which came with our Classic.
It came with the Classic to charge the 2 AGM batteries we have on here. It would probably do a lot better if we had lithium. The new Classics now come with 2 Battleborn lithium batteries. That's an upgrade that we definitely looked at. The 3 panels will keep your batteries charged during the day, pending you have sunlight. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you're in the dark or covered, trees are covering the solar panels, it's not going to charge as sufficiently.
Snow is currently covering your solar panels, which we may or may not know a little bit about.
Yeah, Dan, that was the biggest problem we had in Texas. The panels were covered in snow, and us being from Florida had no idea that to kind of check the panels for like snow coverage. Yeah, Blake, running coach. Awesome. Love you, my friend. Yeah, Shannon.
Shannon, we miss you too.
We're going to hang out with you soon.
Okay.
Aaron,
okay.
Yes.
Let's see.
I embarrass her all the time. She has to put up with me. Can you believe it? I do a lot of embarrassing things.
I'm a very patient woman.
Off camera. This is not like a on camera sort of thing. I do this all the time.
Oh no, that's something people ask us all the time. Like like people who we know pretty well. They're like, I had no idea Daniel was this funny. I was like, oh no. He's always been this. If you can call it funny or embarrassing, I think it's mostly embarrassssing. He's always been like this. We just stuck a camera on him.
The amount of funny goes up with either caffeine or potentially a drink or two. I will admit, yes.
Oh, Michael, so you asked if by using the link above, will we be informed about the donations? Yes, we will get an email and we will get all of the information. If we, we'll definitely be, no matter what you do, we'll be sending you an email and saying thank you, because seriously, every single person who donates from the bottom of our hearts, we appreciate your support.
Yeah, it means honestly, it means the world to us. Doing something for cancer research was something that was very important to me, is very important to me. It's been hard for me to talk about. It's something that was very traumatic. I was very, very young. This was 20 years ago. So it's something that I kind of buried for a long time. And I promised myself my 20th anniversary that I was going to sort of open up more about it because of, it's just a very traumatic experience. And anybody who's been through cancer understands, how traumatic an experience it can be. And it's not something that you ever stop thinking about. I mean, it's something that I live with every single day. I still have to go for testing. I still have to get colonoscopies and, blood work and everything else. So, we also, on that note, we also have Venmo, Cashapp, PayPal, whatever it is that makes it easier for you.
Let us know.
We'll know.
Make it happen.
And we can give you the receipts from the charitable organization. So,
Truth.
Yeah. We'll get you the charity receipts and everything else.
But we have a really, really good point from Michael.
Yeah. Mitchell. It's Mitchell.
Oh, from Mitchell. I'm sorry, Mitchell.
Sorry. Yep. Poop. Yes. So, okay. This is a very good question because I know there's a lot of RVers on here and I've Googled it and I've gotten some mixed feedback. It's kind of gross. But we've got these tiny little gnats in the RV, and we've been RVing for over a year.
A week ago.
And I Googled it and it said they can come from the black tank or the sewer. Is that even a thing? Like, can you get like tiny gnats? That's so gross. But to your point, it's on the poop topic. So I was kind of wondering if you guys
it's real.
Have any advice on the tiny little like gnats that kind of
drive Daniel crazy.
They're so small.
I'm kind of convinced there's just one that's like driving Daniel insane. But the thing about it is they're so tiny.
Look at this. No, seriously. Like we've got this thing right here, right? And it like you zap the little buggies, you know, and they're so small, they like fly right through it. So that kind of sucks. That doesn't work on the tiny little gnats.
So true. So true. Tammy Conway, thanks for joining us. And also Paul and Vivian, thanks for coming to hang out with us tonight. Okay, how are the colors looking where you're at? So Jessica has taught us something amazing. We did not know
so true
that you could see different times of the year.
Yeah.
The Aurora Borealis in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
I know. I feel like,
and apparently you might even be able to see them in Wisconsin, and I would assume probably other northern states of the United States. I thought you had to like fly a gajillion miles to get to see the Northern Lights.
Do you see that picture? You guys can see this. I mean, this is the best part about it. Jessica sent us this picture, and they shot this picture in the Upper Peninsula. I mean,
amazingly beautiful.
We instantly thought you'd have to be. I mean, we just always thought you have to be in like Iceland or somewhere there. You know, like maybe.
Okay, wait a second. We have a super chat that we have to shout out, Mitchell. Okay, maybe I won't get the highest to get a shout out at the New York City Marathon, but maybe now I can get Lauren a shout out.
Yes. Yeah, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. Yep. You got to do it. Yeah, I mean, everything we get is going to charity. So, I mean, like literally, yeah. What's, go ahead. You can say it. You can say it. You got to do it. It's for charity. It's for charity.
I love your mullet, Daniel.
Made my night.
But Mitchell, I don't like you. Not one bit. Oh, and Paul and Vivian, coffee money. Woohoo! Thank you guys. Y'all are awesome. Oh my goodness.
Ooh,
okay,
yeah,
Andrew,
okay.
Where is Blue Water?
Yeah, where is Blue Water?
I don't even know where that is. I'm assuming it might be in
We need to know. And I'm seeing an F250 or F350 in your profile pic. Which one is that? That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Are they gnats or fruit flies? You know, I thought the same thing. I wasn't quite sure. We literally went through all the cabinetry and looked for like any sort of rotting or decaying fruit or anything. Nothing. So that's why I thought maybe the sewer was these gnats. Yes. And Brandon, Happy Camper. I definitely tried that too. Yeah. So we tried the Happy Camper. I don't know.
Green apple dish soap and water out in a bowl on the counter. Okay, that's random, but we're willing to try it.
Oh, no, well, we're willing to try anything. Yeah, there's like tiny little gnats.
Oh, look, we got another super chat. Shannon Lee, whoop, whoop. Thank you, ma'am. You are awesome.
Okay, leave your tanks closed until you put some, I don't even know what that is. What is this? Perethrin? What is perethrin? Elaborate, please.
Farm store source the chemicals.
Yeah. Okay. Farm store. Okay. Source chemical. Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
No skims. Okay. Small vinegar.
Oh, put a shallow dish in with vinegar. We have vinegar in the house already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely give that a shot.
Yeah.
I mean that the shout out on here is pretty good. You know, getting you to say some stuff. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was brilliant. Well played.
Okay,
well played.
Pyrethrin. Pyrethrin? I feel like I need more dashes in that.
Pyrethrin? Yeah. Glasses of wine, wrap, poke holes in it. Oh, Norma. Oh my gosh. We would normally, that sounds like a brilliant idea. But I would feel bad about leaving some wine out for the gnats. I mean, we gotta look for a plan B here because, you know, wine belongs
in the
belly, in the tummy. Yeah. It better be I guess we can do a small amount of wine.
Okay, pyrethrin. Okay, cool.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Wow, that was weird.
Okay, Daniel hit the wrong button.
Yeah. And back to somebody asked about I'm just going back to this because I think it's also a very important question. They asked a very, very important question. What are our favorite football teams? I'm going to have to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm sorry they lost tonight. That was unfortunate, but Tom Brady played well. So, yep, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And Daniel and I just had a conversation the other night. I really don't understand why people like to watch football. I mean, more power to you if you do. We were trying to like figure this out because he was watching like the highlights of a game. And I was like, well, why don't you just do that all the time? Like, otherwise people are just running around and hitting each other.
I can't be alone in thinking that, right? Like, you can't just watch the highlights of the game. You have to like watch the game, see what happens. There's a story happening, you know?
Yeah, that's what we determined, that he thinks there's a story in between the...
Yeah.
Silly.
Sugar water. Oh, that's a good one. So we've got some pretty good tips here to get rid of some of these.
Yeah, we're going to have to give them a try. We'll let y'all know if it works. They really aren't that bad, thank God. Like, I think Daniel's just really OCD and it really bothers him.
I am.
For every single one of them.
Yeah, definitely OCD.
For sure. My God, Dan, you can't really see their eyes, can you?
Oh, well, there you go. So
They're like microscopic.
I will get out the zoom lens next time or the macro lens in the camera, and I will try to get in there and check the eye color.
And Mitchell, you can give it another try, but I can't promise you that it's going to be more compelling.
If I get close enough.
Just like heresy.
Okay.
Tales from the Pack asks, What is your favorite state you've wandered local?
Oh, man. Wandered local. That's a good one. There's so many surprises, though.
Well, there's something really special about Fernandez everywhere.
I was probably... So let me start with most surprised. I was most surprised with Upper Peninsula, even though we just came from there.
That's the state of Michigan.
The state of Michigan. Yeah. But I don't think... I mean, I love Michigan, but Upper Peninsula was really pretty up there.
Favorite state you've wandered local?
Oh, man.
I feel like one of the things maybe that would be a regret of the way that we're doing this trip, somebody asked that earlier, would be that we only are, because we're trying to hit all 50 states, we're only getting to touch like a teeny tiny portion of each state when we're going through them. Like maybe hitting only one city if we're lucky, maybe 2 or 3. And because of that, I don't really feel like we have a really comprehensive answer to that.
Sure.
I think California is going to be pretty high on my list because I loved Paso Robles. And I loved Big Sur, and I loved Joshua Tree. And they all had and Malibu was beautiful. That little French coffee shop that we went to there was like being
beautiful
overseas.
Location. The coffee's like, $10, but
it's probably my least favorite when it comes to cost. No, it's not as bad as Switzerland. You have to pay like $30 for 3 chicken wings in Switzerland. So I love California for that, but I don't know if I would like put a stamp on it and call it my favorite.
Yeah, I'm gonna settle on. I hate to say Colorado or Utah. I don't know. There's a lot. They all have something beautiful.
Okay, so Blue Water is in New Mexico between Gallup and Garrett. Okay, we're gonna have to look that up because we've never heard of that.
Okay, nice. Tales from Pack, Michigan is your home state. That's awesome. You live in the Mitten. That is wonderful. Ever been to? Yeah, there's so much up there in the north to see. At there. Gotta.
Oh, here you do it.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, here we go. Gotta hide that one. And yeah, Mitchell didn't really feel the love when she said she loved my mullet. Because
I don't. I'm not a good liar.
Yeah, that's true. She's not a good liar, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually a good thing. Anna, apple cider or red wine vinegar in a cup.
We definitely have red wine vinegar, so we're probably going to try that.
What I'm learning is that these Nats have good taste. Because clearly wine seems to work, and apple cider vinegar and red wine. Those are also very good things as well.
Let's see. Pappy says, I'll donate $10 if you tell your husband that mullet is God's gift to women. It is not, Pappy.
I mean, I think so. Right? I mean, look at this. It is. It's growing in nicely. You can get it trimmed up next week. But, coming in with a stash here, I think it's looking pretty good.
Daniel, I think your mullet is.
I'm sorry. This is for charity. You gotta, all of this is for charity. What's that?
You have to. I'm not getting this.
You guys are making her blush. This is amazing. Yeah. What?
I think your mullet is God's gift to women.
This is like the best live stream ever. Seriously.
Oh my gosh. So freaking not
literally
a thing.
Best live stream ever.
Okay, so Jessica says we only saw a tiny amount of what Michigan's Lower Peninsula and Upper Peninsula have to offer. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like the natural beauty in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, if you have not been there, it is absolutely freaking insane how beautiful it is.
Blue Water RV Resort is in the Keys. We have got to.
Who said it was in New Mexico? Is it two?
You guys are tricking us. Are there 2 Blue Water RV resorts? Okay, there's some trickery going on here.
To this.
Wait.
Mitchell, I'm glad that you get joy from my facial expressions. They are 100%.
We've definitely got to check out the Keys this winter. I hear spaces are, hard to get down there. So if anybody has like an inside tip on some spaces down there, oh man, woo!
Now, that is a comment I can absolutely get on board with.
Oh man, a cut the mullet auction. You know what? Man, I will for charity. I would do it. I would cut it. That's how important raising funds for charity is. I would cut the mullet. I would do it. Yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but it's charity.
So how much, if we raise all 10,000, are you gonna cut off the mullet? Like get a real haircut? Like for like,
I don't know. I don't know where this is going. Okay. I feel like this is your initiative here. You and retired colonel are gonna have to like team up and come up with a plan here because
it's a really good plan. Y'all, I mean, like his hair is getting absolutely ridiculous. Like when he gets it fixed or at least like cleaned up this week, this will get shorter again. So like even like if you look at him kind of like look straight at the camera. Like right now, like he at least looks like he can't. And I guess it helps that the back is kind of dark. Yeah, it's so bad. Y'all, he woke up the other morning and I swear it looked like this. Like on both sides, like this, like this. It was like everywhere. It was
Shannon. I thought we were friends. I mean, shave it. Gosh, I feel like this is like back to like the Team Lauren, Team Daniel thing again.
I mean,
Joel, a beard and mustache off for charity.
Liz, shave the stash. Amen to that. Oh my God, I freaking hate that thing.
I mean, there's a part I could probably get some handlebar action going here, for charity. I would do it for charity.
She said shave it.
I mean,
that's not. Why would you think that means handlebars?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I would do a lot for charity. So
you're such a dork.
Oh man, a crew cut. Oh God,
that would be intense.
Yeah.
Daniel really loves his hair, y'all. If you haven't already figured that out through this entire experience, like he pretty much is like.
I mean, but you know what? For charity,
loves his hair.
For charity, though. I don't know. I'd cut it for charity. If my hair was long enough, I would shave it and donate it to charity, but it's just not that long.
Mm-mm.
But maybe the mullet will get to the point where I can donate to charity. I think you just threw up in your mouth. I know. I know.
I think you're right. Oh my God. Oh man.
Norma, yes, a little man bun.
I told him, honestly, I think the man bun is a better idea than his current, like, the mullet.
You guys are making us laugh.
Shannon, I remember a time he had more hair product than me.
Oh, man, that is good. These are some really funny conversations. I mean, you just never know where it's going to go. It's conversations.
Yep, true.
Mohawk, I would do Mohawk for charity. I would, yeah, I mean.
You wouldn't even need to do it for charity. You would just
I would just do
mullet,
or I would totally do a Mohawk for charity.
For sure.
I would 100%.
I mean,
don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah, about that. Maybe we should get back to RV life. What did you learn recently in RV life, Daniel?
I have learned that everybody who RVs should have a mullet. Oh man,
Daniel's gonna start like a mullet club or something.
Yeah, friends of the mullet.
Mitchell, I think this is a good question. Would I do something similar for charity? You mean like wear a mullet or
no.
a mohawk,
hair color or something, maybe. I don't even know. I mean, I
feel like we need some direction as to what you're thinking in this arena. Yeah.
Man, we've got to cut the mullet fund. That's going to be pretty strong here. I think we might.
So if you would like to join the Cut the Mullet Fund, what you can do is you can go to that exact same link, and if you scroll down, there is a it shows like the members of our team, and there is a page specifically dedicated to moi. And if you donate to that page, that can be the Cut the Mullet Fund. So we'll know
Lauren's
that
page.
Anybody who donates specifically to me would like to see the mullet going.
That is savage. That is savage.
Mitchell, if I cut or color my hair first, I can't imagine cutting my hair. That would be really sad. I would color my hair, but I don't know what color it would be. It'd have to be really easy for me to maintain since we're on the road, because that's a real thing.
Yeah, that's man, cutting. I didn't even know cutting the mullet was up for discussion here, but Charity, that's just how it goes.
Always praying that you're gonna like walk into one of those haircuts and be like, I'm kind of sick of this.
There's a stash in your future.
Yeah.
I can't even. Oh my.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there we go. Good question. Do we ever go to full-time RV van lifer gatherings? We've only been to 2 so far.
Well, no, these are full-time.
Oh no, we should.
No, we haven't. So in January we signed up to go to a content like a RV content creator. So a lot of them are full-time, but that's the only thing. I actually don't really know much about gatherings of full-timers. We actually were talking recently to the Airstream crew with Airstream International, and they're creating a club specifically for full-time Airstreamers, which we're definitely going to be joining. But no, in fact, most of the time when we get to meet other full-timers, it's just randomly at a campground. They're like, oh, you full-time? Oh, we full-time? Guess what? We're all so cool. Let's hang out and have a campfire.
And we met a bunch of other Airstream ambassadors at the last rally as well.
That was
Talked about like meeting up there, do some awesome stuff on Instagram. But that would be awesome. So if you know of like a content creator like meetup, we're always down to hang out with some cool people. Hopefully they're cool. I mean, I feel like everybody else we've met's been super cool.
Super true.
And honestly, what we get so much joy out of meeting you all in person when we're out there as well. I mean, that's just like, I know sometimes people feel like it's like they're like burdening us with that, but like literally, like we get just as much joy out of it as you do. It's one of our favorite parts about this whole community.
I think one of the things that if you don't full-time, you may not realize is that for those of us who do, we're not with our friends and family like that you would see at home regularly. Yeah. So when we're getting to meet new people and they're at our campgrounds and they're our neighbors, like y'all become our friends and family like you would if you were in a Sticks and Bricks. Exactly. And then we'll have like conversations in person about the mullet and maybe some poop and some stuff like that. But that's just how it is. We just like to roll like that. True. Honestly, Jessica with Snow Dogs vlogs, like they have like millions of followers. She's probably the best person to answer that question. I mean, everywhere they go, those dogs are famous. I mean, they're like super famous. They're like probably the most famous dogs on YouTube. I missed it. But what's like it probably never gets old, I think, running into people. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That is we're in Fredericksburg thanks to us. Oh, Catherine, thank you so much. So Heath Sparkling. Yeah, Heath Sparkling was, we didn't get to visit as many wineries as we would have liked. But we're just suckers for champagne. Like anything sparkly is always our favorite. And they had a sparkling Pinot Noir. Oh, so good. Sparkling
Pinot Noirs. Yeah. So I mean they had that was some pretty good stuff. Like we probably should have ordered more when we were there. We crushed those bottles so quickly. Like they have like a membership and then they ship you some bottles, and we got those bottles and then they were gone. And we were like, crap, they're all gone. So
we'll have to eventually make our way back because that was absolutely freaking delicious. Glam Dockers! Hey, Ron and Terry. It's so good to see y'all on here.
Yes, we met the Glam Dockers. Definitely go check them out. If you want to learn a lot, they do tons of boondocking.
Yeah.
And their tow vehicle is the most bad-ass tow vehicle ever. I don't want to spoil it, but they're like...
You have to check out their channel to find out what their tow vehicle is.
Their tow vehicle is insane. Seriously. Really, really cool.
Juan has a really good question. How long can you go off-grid with your Airstream?
it depends on the weather, right? So if you're reliant, if it's cold, then you have the heating system and that doesn't consume too much power. But if it's hot, you're going to need the ACs, and that makes it very, very difficult because you can't run. Everybody imagines just because you like pop in some lithium batteries, you can just like run the AC. It's not really true. I mean, I guess it is true if you have
for a certain number of
enough batteries and probably money too, because I mean they're pretty pricey as well. I think even with a fully loaded lithium kit, you could probably only run your AC for a few hours at a time. But you got to chase the weather. That's the biggest takeaway. So if you chase the weather, you can go. We did a week in Sedona, no problem whatsoever. We could have easily done 2 weeks. We did not consume even a quarter of the water that we brought with us. We filled our fresh tanks, brought some other tanks with us, and we never even touched, some of those tanks. So,
well, there are a couple things when you think about off-grid. So first of all, if you chase good weather and you can just pop open the windows, then you won't struggle with needing an AC unit. If you don't struggle with needing an AC unit because it's 90 degrees outside, which is miserable in an RV, then you've already like eliminated a lot of problems, right?
True.
And then the second piece is, do you have generators? Yes or no? Because if you have generators, then with our system, we could probably go.
Oh gosh. I mean, you can charge, as long as you have some time to charge the batteries, you just crank them up maybe during the day and recharge the batteries. If you have like a low light setup, maybe there's just not a lot of sunlight that day because the solar panels aren't going to sufficiently charge the battery, so you can use the generators. You could go a while.
I mean, the biggest thing is
glamp dockers. How long could you go? That's a good question. I mean, they boondock a majority of the time. So.
Well, and they have water bladders and tank bladders and all sorts of cool stuff to be able to make it happen easier.
So I think it's unique to each person. I could not go a single day without coffee. So I knew that, and I adequately prepared for that with a manual grinder so I can make my coffee beans, and our stove is propane, not electric. So I'm good to go. Like, as long as I have coffee, boondocking.
Yeah. Ooh, Aaron has a really good point, because I didn't even know this. He said it takes a full pallet of batteries chest high to keep a cell site running 8 hours. So you'd exceed the weight rating of the Airstream to run the AC overnight. That is really interesting. I didn't know that.
That's really good to know.
I don't think anybody's ever told us that. That's genius. I mean, I think the most we've ever heard of anybody having enough lithium batteries to run the AC, like off grid, is like max 3 hours.
Yeah, and that's with like 8 lithium batteries, and you're shutting down all the other components as well. Because, you've got some other power hogs on here, like the microwave and.
Yeah. Well, and then like it also depends. Are you just going to vacation, or are you going to work too? Like, do you need internet? Do you need your laptop to be charged every day?
That's a good point.
We needed all of those things when we did our 1 week in Sedona boondocking, and still did fine. We just used our generators at night, which was a big no. But now we know generator hours are a real thing. You don't really need them for all that long anyway if you're just charging your regular batteries.
That's true. No, and honestly, that's something I hadn't really. Aaron, that's a good point, because the more batteries you add, the more weight you're adding as well. So that's another
real thing
consideration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Andrew, what better place to wander local than the Keys in January?
So, real true question. We really do want to go to the Keys in January, but I have not looked in to see if I could find a single campground. I'm assuming that they're already all booked out. If you know if that's true, I am curious about that, because I have not looked into it yet, but it's on my list of things, very, very long list of things to do. Because I would love for us to get to camp out there. I've heard it's beautiful.
I know, and according to Glam Dockers, you can boondock forever, and they would know. They have an awesome rig. Edward, you just went 5 days with only power, no water or sewer. Hey, that is good. That's how we started. We started with just 2 or 3 days, I think.
Well, yeah, and we haven't even done more than 7, so.
Yeah, and that's a good way to kind of start, because you need to understand what your water consumption is going to be. So going with no water or sewer, that's a good way to kind of ease into it. Yeah. I think that's something that we did a pretty decent job of kind of easing into boondocking, before diving in.
We used Harvest Host to do that too.
Right.
So like if you want to do more boondocking and you haven't done any, one of the things that we did is just kind of get our feet wet is we would start with just going to a harvest host. Now, granted, some harvest hosts do have hookups. If you haven't heard of Harvest Host is a really cool membership program. I think it's like less than $100 a year. And you can stay at wineries, breweries, farms, some really cool golf courses, also museums, some really fun places, but they don't usually have hookups. It's usually just parking overnight. So we would use them to get from point A to point B.
100%.
And we started with one night, just doing one night.
I wouldn't even unhook. I would literally just pull into the campground and just leave it all hooked up. Not the campground, but the
brewery
the
or winery
host.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we tried doing 2 nights, and then that worked out okay. So you just kind of continually push things because you're going to learn something every single time. But I will say the place that we learned the most was in Sedona because the Glamp Dockers were there, and they taught us so much about how to boondock. So when you have the chance to go and boondock on like National Forest land or BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land, I would strongly suggest doing that and parking in. Make sure you don't get in anybody's way of their view. That's rude. Don't do that. But park near some other campers who are also boondocking because odds are you'll be able to make some cool new friends and they'll be able to teach you a little bit more than what you know, which is pretty great.
That's exactly right. So Edward looks like he had 39 gallons each. That's a sufficient. That's good. You're good to go.
And look, Glamp Dockers last week's video was on how to save water while boondocking. So if y'all want more information, they really are the experts on this.
On the boondocking stuff, for sure. Yeah.
So make sure to check that out.
But Dan, thank you so much. That is
right. This one?
Yep,
oh yeah.
There you go. Yeah. From the first video to what we know now. I mean, I think there's also we're both. She won't admit it, but she's also competitive. We're both very competitive. We don't like to lose. So Texas handed us our butts, and we didn't like that. So we studied all of your comments and feedback, and we even got a lot of private messages that are just, a lot of them are really nice, and some were like, you guys should probably just go back, home and call it a day. But we don't like to quit, and we learn from our experiences and our failures. Not failures, they're learning lessons. They're not failures, they're learning lessons, and we've gotten so much better. I've become obsessed with anything and everything RV accessories, and I plan on doing a lot of videos about that. We're going to launch some stuff on Amazon soon, so that's going to be really cool. I'm kind of OCD about equipment, so if I don't like it, I'll just either sell it or swap it out for something else until I find the perfect accessory.
Daniel is a research-aholic when it comes to really any products, but since we moved into the RV, I feel like you're like a wealth of knowledge now that we've had so many people help us.
I can break down the entire RV or set it up in 15 minutes now. I've got it so efficient now with like little gadgets and tools and just a process.
Yeah,
so
it's a real thing.
Yeah,
it's pretty impressive actually.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. So what other questions do you guys have for us that we can answer about all of our craziness?
Yeah, let the questions fly. And it's a good question. I mean, like, it's a good point. We're pros compared to where we started. I mean, gosh, man, like, when we look back at that video, we just hit our 1-year anniversary of posting content, actually.
Yeah.
So our very first video was posted exactly 1 year ago. From yesterday. And yeah.
Oh man.
I mean,
we looked back, we started because we got a notification on Instagram yesterday about the fact that was our first video that came out. And so we started watching a little bit of it and we were like, oh my gosh, how did we manage to dent the truck, break a tail light?
I almost electrocuted myself.
There was you were stupid enough to try to parallel park the Airstream. Like, that happened on the very first day that we got the Airstream. Like, it was just like, no wonder it's like a hockey stick because we made so many mistakes early on. We had to learn at like the rate of something crazy.
Tales from the Pack. That is an excellent question. Because we were traveling the globe for a solid 1.5 to 2 years before we started RVing, we only had 2 suitcases, and we had to be super calculated about absolutely everything that we bring with us. So you'll always see me in like neutral colored, either gray or blacks. My tip is that this is a unbound merino wool. You can wear merino wool multiple days without any, we always say it like it is, without any odor. I mean, literally, I bet you could probably wear this shirt for like 5 days without smelling anything. So it's a little bit more expensive, but if you only have like 3 shirts to bring, make sure they're made of merino wool. We actually have an unbound merino wool code, I think, for discounts. Should probably include that. But yeah, I swear by it. I wear this one I'm wearing right now. Like literally, right there it is, unbound. Wear it all the time. My absolute favorite shirt.
So how do I prioritize clothes? I like everything that kind of can be layered on top of each other. So that means that a outfit can be worn from summer to winter if you just keep layering it. So that's something that I'm always looking for. In order to do that, you do kind of like what Daniel mentioned, you really do need to stick with pretty basic colors. Sure. I've got, you know, a random top that has cactuses all over it, and I love it. And if it's something like that brings you joy, then I keep that. But from a standpoint of like my overall strategy with clothing and prioritizing it, it is keeping it simple, making sure it can be layered. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Okay, Catherine has a good question. So what do we use as your Wi-Fi booster?
We actually shot a video. So if you look through our video library, we shot one on RV Internet. And the biggest problem we faced was, well, really 2 things. One was you need signal, right? Because without signal, it doesn't really matter. And campground Wi-Fi kind of super sucks. It's not great. So
every once in a while it'll be good.
Every once in a while,
like we get in every 25.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, probably. Once in a while, we get campground internet. That's awesome, but it's far and few between. So you really have to rely on your own sort of internet system.
Yeah.
And beyond getting a signal, the second thing is, if you have a carrier, one of the main carriers like T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and you're not on it, they use the term unlimited as sort of a marketing ploy, because you can hit a cap and they will just throttle the crap out of you, and you know it just crawls. So we partnered with a company called Bix Wireless, and they have absolutely unlimited wireless. We're on it right now. We stream everything, literally. Like,
I upload video from the RV, like a lot of video.
Crush it with
at least
bandwidth
20
every month.
Video calls a week. So we're really, really heavy internet users, and because of that, Bix works great for us. We do have friends who they're like, "Oh, well, we have a provider through our cell phones that works out amazing." And we're like, if it works for you, that's fantastic. Our internet usage is too heavy to be able to use anything like that. So that's
I would say get a router, a really, really good router. Steve is the owner of Bix Wireless. You can always call and say, "Hey, Steve, like, what do you recommend?" And he'll recommend something. And I know probably some people on here probably have some pretty good routers. But when it comes to like the SIM cards, the reality is there's no perfect solution. We kind of toggle. We use Bix Wireless's AT&T like unthrottled SIM card, and then we have a Verizon to kind of back it up. That doesn't have as much bandwidth available, so that's kind of why it's our backup. But you never really know which one's going to reign supreme in the area. The last campground we were at, Verizon was crushing it. This campground, AT&T is crushing it.
Yep.
We've signed up for Starlink, the beta program. We haven't gotten the dish yet or anything set up, but we're going to probably add that to the equation. The idea is that there's just no perfect solution yet. True. So you kind of need to toggle between a few of them.
But if you go back and watch that video, we do talk through, like, this is our whole journey of how we figured out the solution that made the most sense for us. And everybody's journey is different, but we really, really like the solution that we have.
Andrew, save water, install a 50-gallon water tank. That would be awesome. Ours is pretty good.
Ours is 36 gallons?
I don't know.
I don't remember.
I'm curious.
Okay, Daniel can figure that out. But Retired Colonel asks, why an Airstream over another travel trailer or Class A? Well, first, let's talk about the travel trailer part. So we decided that we wanted to start our RV adventure with a travel trailer specifically so that we would have a tow vehicle versus needing to tow a vehicle. Because we already didn't have much experience in like basically driving a train. So we didn't want to get a massive Class A bus and then have to drive a car behind it in order to like function the way we normally do.
I mean, it seems scary. Honestly, like this was scary enough, with a truck and towing a 30-footer, but
now that we've been towing, aka Daniel for a majority of that, a little over a year, I mean, we have looked at Class A's. There are some really, really beautiful Class A's. And who knows, maybe someday we'll decide we need a little bit more space because of who knows what. And then
you just never know.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yep.
But from a standpoint of our Airstream versus another travel trailer, we did look at quite a few travel trailers and a lot of different options. One of the things that we've heard a lot about is, of course, like a Four Seasons type trailer. It's supposed to be better for all 4 seasons.
There's some really cool toy haulers out there as well. I know some people like some really
love the toy haulers. I love the toy haulers mostly because you get that patio on the back of it. You don't have to set up your patio every time outside the Airstream. I freaking love that. So, but from a standpoint of why the Airstream, it just came down to quality and the fact that we expect that our Airstream will hold its value longer than a lot of the other travel trailers on the market. That's not to say it will be that for every single one of them, but that's why we decided to go that route.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, man, there are so many nice RVs out there, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, some are just, they have so many cool features. We've walked into some that look like a freaking palace on the inside.
This is a very good question because it is very real. And I don't think anybody's ever asked me this before. So how do I maintain the long hair when traveling? Well, one of the things, so if you see Daniel's beautiful mane, one of the things that he taught me a long time ago is the best way to have the best hair is not to wash it.
Yes. Pro tip. Pro tip.
So I try to only wash my hair like maybe once or twice a week, which makes a big difference in how oily it used to get. So
I would call it manageable, and you can style it a lot easier. You don't need to wash your hair every day, people.
Yeah. So apparently it's a real thing. And also I'll throw this amazing nugget out there for y'all that I don't know if we've ever talked about. When Daniel was in his early 20s, he was a hair model.
Oh wow. So, you did not do that.
Yes, I did. So,
you did not just drop that.
Oh yeah, like platform shoes, the crazy outfits from the 90s and everything. So he knows a thing or two about how
dang, that was savage.
You should take care of your hair.
That was savage.
So he taught me not to wash it every day, which is kind of a big deal. And then also I will say that I live off of dry shampoo. I love dry shampoo. I use it almost every day. And then a really good deep conditioner. So I use Monet products. I use that, and I use the shampoo for blonde hair. But a really good conditioner, and I do a I'm so happy about how much I just managed to embarrass you.
It takes a lot to
never a thing.
It takes a lot to embarrass
and I get a keratin treatment about once every quarter. So that's how I maintain my long hair.
That was well played.
Nobody's ever asked me about my hair, so there was never a relevant moment where I could drop that amazing goodness. Like,
man,
this might be my favorite question of the night.
Well played. That was good. It takes a lot to embarrass me. 30-gallon classic probably has close to 50-gallon water tank. It has 39 gallons. I just looked it up. That is... You're so bad. Oh, man. Pappy's Tesla. This is a great question. Which is more fun, RV life or traveling the globe?
They're very different.
They're very different. I think that we've traveled to a lot of countries and we've seen a lot of the US at this point. I think that there are places that you just fall in love with, and I don't think that it's the same for everybody. So for us, there's a place in Jamaica that will always have a piece of our heart because we were married in Jamaica. Like, you can't take that away. So like we used to constantly go back to Jamaica, this little place in the Grill, Jamaica, that we absolutely love. And that is one of our favorite places on earth. But now that we've traveled the country and we've seen all these amazing places, now we have like new beautiful places that we absolutely love as well. So
I think at the end of the day, with any kind of travel life, you can make it whatever you want it to be, right? So for me and Daniel, travel is all about finding new, exciting, fun experiences, like different things that don't fit into the box of the way we grew up or the culture that, we're comfortable in.
Sure.
And so you can do that both internationally or in RV life. You just have to choose to do it, because you can also stay in your box and feel very comfortable and travel both ways and never see new things or experience new cultures. So
it's about the way. Yeah, I agree. It's about the way you travel. I mean, it's, you know, you could travel, like, to her point, you can travel to Bali, and if you stay in a Marriott, it's probably not going to be that indifferent to a Marriott in like Hawaii or, you know, someplace in Florida. So, I mean, you really like have to get out there and venture out and see what the local experience is all about. I mean, that's the local vibe is really what makes it magical, really. It's not about going to the places that you can go to anywhere in the country. Like, if you go to an awesome destination and you're eating at McDonald's, don't do that. Like, go eat at a local eatery, you know? That is the magic of local, really.
I think in the long run, our travel lifestyle will probably morph some to be a little bit of both RV life and traveling the globe. But obviously with the pandemic the way it is, and the fact that when it hit, we found ourselves in the Sahara Desert and had to take a rescue flight home, we're not exactly super interested in calling wolf and being those people
crying
again.
Wolf.
Crying wolf. So because of that, we're definitely
on the U.S. train for a while.
On the U.S. train for a while.
Yeah, but that brings up a very good question by Juan Ramirez here. What country would you like to travel in your Airstream? Oh man, a country that has paved roads.
I know, I want to say Australia initially, and then I'm like, oh my god, all of that terrifying, crazy wildlife could get into.
Yeah, I imagine
an
like
RV, probably
like monster spiders like climbing on the inside of the window.
We had snakes, a very small but hairy spider show up in the Airstream. Oh right, Daniel says it's fine now. It's about the same as the one chip challenge.
Spiders,
as
I love
far
them.
as people who do well with, you know, those kinds of things.
Only spiders.
It was kind of, so we freaked out. I swear it was not even the size of like 2 peas. So we're probably not ready for Australia.
Yeah, I mean, definitely Canada. Obviously, that's the easy one, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, definitely Canada. I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. That's a great question. We'll have to think about that one. You have to come back to us one in a future live stream and ask us.
I feel like what country, if we weren't in our Airstream and if we were in a van, I feel like that's an easier question. Because so what's one of the big things with our Airstream, because it's 30 feet long and we don't have a lift kit on it, is that if you don't have solid paved roads and it's mostly interstate, it's A, really freaking slow, and B, really freaking nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
So if we were in a van, then we would have a lot more flexibility in other countries where the roads aren't like they are in the U.S. So that would
Mitchell,
be a thing.
New Zealand is definitely one at the top of the list for sure. That's a great one.
Oh yeah, New Zealand.
Yeah, here's another question from Elizabeth. Have you ever done a cruise? Yes, we have. Growing up in Florida, cruising was kind of like what you did if you lived in Florida because they were so cheap. You know, like you didn't have to fly to board a cruise ship. You just had to drive to the dock, or not the dock, but the pier, and whatever you call them, and then jump on a cruise ship and you're off. You know, so we did a lot of cruising growing up.
But I will say, no, I didn't do as much cruising.
Yeah.
I went on my very first cruise with you for my 22nd birthday.
No.
23rd? I don't remember.
Was.
But we went on what they call in Florida a booze cruise, which is basically
like it's a 3 to 4 day turnaround. Like they're like $200 cruises out of Florida.
Except for the ship, and it's just like going to a bar for 4 whole days. It was a birthday that.
I mean, it's a party. It's a party ship. Like if you go on a cruise, it's like 2 or 3 days. Like, you know, you're not going to see a lot. You're going to be on the cruise ship a lot.
But I will say, if you ask the question, what's our favorite cruise ever? That is like the world's easiest.
Yeah.
We did the Alaskan cruise.
That was
mind blowing.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Where did we went to?
We did that for my 30th birthday.
Where were we? Juneau? No, we went to not Juneau.
Ketchikan?
Ketchikan. Yeah, we took the train in Ketchikan. That was pretty fun. Cool. There was a place we went to where there was like 50 eagles on a lake there, and they were just like picking the fish right out of the stream. Was that not in Juneau? Might have been. Yeah. Anyways.
Wildlife. I think the thing that was most surprising, and maybe I should have just watched more YouTube videos before we did that. But when you get there, the water is like emerald green. it's magical. And like, it doesn't need a filter. Like, it really looks like that in real life. And then there are freaking icebergs that pop out of it, and it's wild. And the rainbows glaciers. And the glaciers.
Yeah,
and
it is.
Holy moly,
we hiked to a glacier.
So beautiful.
We hiked to a glacier. So we're definitely all about that RVing to Alaska. That will be a fun thing for sure. Yangtze River, that would be really cool.
We haven't ever done a riverboat cruise, so
that would be fun. Actually, we've never done a river. That would be really fun.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Life goals.
I think that's part of, like, we've always talked about, like, if we were embarking on this RV life, will we just do RVing? And the answer is no, because you can, like, take an RV to like someplace and then do like a riverboat cruise, or go to Michigan and ride some snowmobiles across the lake and stay maybe at the hotel there, which would be kind of cool. I mean, I gotta mix it up.
All the different things.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. Okay, Andrew, you said you'll be visiting Airstream in Tampa in October, and you want to see if you can fit in the Classic. You can't leave a comment like that and not tell us how tall you are.
You are tall. We talked about this, right? I think you're 6. I don't remember. Crap.
That's definitely a real thing.
Memory eludes me.
But our friend Bill Utah, he did come and stand in our Airstream. How tall is Bill?
6'5".
6'4", 6'5". He's really tall, and he was able to fit in here. So our fingers are crossed for you, Andrew, because this thing's pretty awesome.
I know.
We love it.
I know. Yep. Have we considered? Yes.
This is a popular question. So have we considered taking the Airstream to Alaska? Yes. And right now we are thinking that our plan is to do that in 2023.
Ooh.
And
we'll just have to, Snow Dogs, wink wink. I know you got a lot of some upcoming adventures. Maybe we'll have to caravan with y'all.
That would be awesome. But that's our plan. We want to do a caravan and do it with you guys and go to Alaska together, because it would be so much fun. And we've heard that the very best way to do Alaska in an RV is absolutely with a caravan. You want to make sure you've got different people who have different skill sets and know different things, so that you're safely traveling as a pack.
Definitely. That's a great question too. Man, you've got a lot of good questions tonight, Juan. I'm gonna have to come back to you on that one, because I know that some people spend. I really don't know. I don't know. We have not done it yet. So we've had this unit. We had a 2020 unit that was a loaner from Airstream that we used for the first 4 months. Now we're 8 to 9 months into owning this unit. I have not done that. I'm big on certain things. Like there are certain things that we definitely do maintain. Like I get out there and use the torque wrench and the lug nuts every campground or every other campground without question, properly check the tires and everything else, maintain the Aldi system, a lot of other stuff. But that is not something that I have done. So maybe somebody else could can answer that one.
Jump in on that one.
Yeah. And Snow Dogs, yes. 100% down to drive to Alaska in a caravan.
That'd be very fun.
That would be so much fun. Okay, so
and Liz says hubby's 6'3", and he's been there.
That's years. Great. So there you go. So
it's totally possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Truth.
I think that some people have opted for the 33-footer because it has a bigger shower. But
oh my gosh.
Bearing pack should be every. Oh,
David just skilled
you. So we're behind on that.
That's what Daniel's doing tomorrow morning.
every 10,000 miles. Man.
So we should have done it. Well, to be fair, we put about 10,000 miles on the first unit. So we wouldn't have done it on that one. So we probably put 20,000 miles on this one. So you should have done it like.
So Greg says the 2020 Classic should have sealed bearings, should not require greasing on a regular basis. Wow, man, I am going to have to do some homework tomorrow because I am not up to speed on that.
This is a really good example
there's a lot.
Of how there are a million things to learn when you're doing an RV. I think the best thing that has ever been compared to RV living compared to like our international travel life is that with international travel life, you get on an airplane, you fly to the next place, and voila, you're there. With RV life, you own the airplane.
You got to maintain the airplane.
So there is
and the truck.
Yeah, there is a lot of learning to be done.
Fuel filters. you know?
We were literally just on the phone earlier with a friend of ours that we met at the Illumapalooza rally, and he was telling us about something that he had happen with his truck and a hose that he's now carrying as a spare set because apparently a spare part because it's apparently a known thing with Ford F-250s.
With
and he's
the
like
6.7 liter diesel.
Yeah, and he was saying like, you know, I've been driving this truck for a while. I had no idea it was a thing, and I go on the internet, and everybody and their mom knows it's a thing. But, you know, you just don't know what you don't know.
The maintenance list grows. I will tell you that. Like, we started with a maintenance list that was probably like this long, and now it's like this long. I mean, literally, it just continually grows because you have to maintain both the truck and the Airstream. Yeah, it's a lot. Rustic Alaskans, yes, and you're going to be the first one to tell us about all of the things that we should do when we're preparing for that Alaska trip.
True.
Andrew, you're 6'5". I knew it was around there. Yeah, okay, gotcha.
We're short comparatively.
Yeah, I'm 5'10", so yes.
My license says I'm 5'6", but I'm coming to terms with the fact that I'm actually 5'5".
You're 5'6"-ish.
I'm really 5'5". Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, it's been really fun hanging out with y'all. We've really enjoyed it.
This has been fun.
Yeah. This is funny. Mitchell, you don't own an Airstream, don't they come with a maintenance booklet?
The answer is probably yes. And it's probably in our
we have a suitcase.
They give you
a little briefcase.
They give you a briefcase with like 100 different things in it. So it's probably in there.
We didn't read it, of course.
Yeah. There you go. 5'9"
yes, I'm 5'9" heels for sure. Well, it was so much fun hanging out with you guys. We're going to go ahead and call it a night. We have normal work for Monday morning. Like you guys know, for our big kid job.
This was a fun one. I feel like I got slayed a little bit, but it was all in good fun.
So if you guys would like to make fun of Daniel and his hair model days, I may be able to find a photo or two to share with y'all, but I need to see a couple of comments about it on videos and those sorts of things to really be able to like drop the mic on that one.
Man, I may have had frosted tips and a lot of other. I've had every color hair imaginable, but
all of the good stuff. Okay, so we'll go ahead. We'll put, if you do want to help us hit our goal of raising $10,000 for the American Cancer Society, and get the opportunity to be featured in one of our videos and possibly win Wanderlocal gear, make sure you
giveaways too. Yeah,
make sure check it out. See if it might be something that you're interested in. We appreciate you guys. And in that case,
the amount is not relevant. Whether it's if $1 is all you can give a charity, then just let us know. We will give you a shout out on that video. It's going to be huge, that video. That's all I can tell you. Biggest and best video. It is easily going to be the most exciting video we've ever done.
That's true. That is true.
Like easily.
So.
Lots of big surprises for that one. So.
Until next time, guys. As you know, make sure you get out and wander local this week.
Why?
Because it's good for the soul. Bye, guys.